This is our April meeting for Access with SQL Server from AccessUserGroups.org. I see that the wonderful Susan, excuse me, Susan Pine has joined us. Welcome, Susan. She's going to be an online moderator. So if you have any questions at all, please let Susan know if you need help hearing me or seeing me. I want to get started with probably, if you, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the jacket I got from the Microsoft Access team at the MVP Summit. So it's got the beautiful Access logo sewn on there and the Microsoft Access. We got, last year we got a nice polo. This year we got this black jacket. We got a few other goodies here. Let me see. We got this device here. Oh, here you see it's got the Microsoft Access logo. And it's a receptacle. So you can plug that in, and it's got two USB adapters there, and then it serves as a night light. I can't show you the night light because it's not plugged in, so I thought that was pretty neat. And then we also got from the Microsoft, this is the year that I got the most gifts from the Microsoft Access team, so I was really happy about that. We got this beautiful coffee mug. It's like also has the Microsoft Access logo there. Beautiful Access color, and it's got this nice little lid you can take off and then sip from in your car. So if you're using this in the car, it won't spill over. So I thought that was pretty neat. We had a great time at the summit, like we always do. Very organized. They had approximately, this year we had approximately almost 3,000 MVPs from around the world. And one of my favorite things is they had these buses that pick you up at the hotel. So free transportation to and from the Microsoft campus. And one of my favorite things is being able to meet other MVPs from around the world. I met one MVP from Britain. She specializes in Dynamics 365, which is one of the products that I use in my firm for tracking sales. So I was able to pick her brain on that. I met people from Latin America, from Japan, from China. Oh, really nice. And the reception, they have the reception, they had people in different areas. Like for the US had a section, and then Latin America had a section, and Europe had a section. What I would do is I would go from section to section and just say hi to people because nobody knows me. I'm not shy, right? So I'm not gonna, I just walk up, say, hi, I'm Juan, I'm an Access MVP. This year they have, those are the dogs because my wife just walked into the house and they're really happy. But one of the, one of the things that used to be that your credential said Microsoft Access in it, Microsoft Access MVP. Now it just says Office Apps. I wish they changed that. Hopefully they'll change that in the future where it actually says what you are. But I'm constantly trying to explain to people I'm a Microsoft Access MVP. At the end, I just wrote it on the credential so that they knew I was. Let me adjust this a little bit better. See if it can see me. I like using my hands a lot. So I used that. I just wrote on there, right, to do that. I've got some photos to show you guys. I'm gonna bring that up here first. I took a lot of photos during the event, and I thought that was. Let's see, Redmond. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be sharing my screen here in a second. So if you haven't seen my screen, it's because I haven't started sharing it. Let's see here. All right. Okay, so I got the photos. Let me share my screen now. Screen one. Okay, so this is the Sunday night. We like to, all the MVPs gather together and we break bread, and we just love meeting that Sunday night before the MVP Summit, which starts on Monday morning. So people come in from around the world. This is Ben Cloutier, Access MVP, and we got some other MVPs at that table. This is Jack Aarons, Jack Stockton. He's a Microsoft Access MVP from Portland. He handles the Portland conference, POG. George Hepworth, multi-book author. And let's see here. Let's see. Oh, this is the breakfast in the morning. Oh my gosh, we'd have bacon and eggs and fruits. Just lovely. Well, there's the fruits. Wish I had some of the fruit right now. Bacon, okay. Oh, this is a group of Latino MVPs from Ecuador, Mexico. I thought I'd give them a shout out. This is where the buses will take us to and from the campus. This year was something special because this year we did all the MVPs came together and we honored Ben Cottier for his many years of service. And I'd like you to just read this a little bit of this. Primus inter pares, first among peers. Whereas Ben has demonstrated a mastery of Access, having authored and co-authored numerous works about Access. Ben has tirelessly helped others in many online forums, including his colleagues in the email list, helping not just by providing answers, but in some cases also providing techniques that have become the new standard. Ben has provided invaluable feedback and insight to the Access product team, and therefore he has had an impact on the development of the product. Ben has inspired his peers to accomplish more, dive deeper, and broader into the code, improve their skills, and overall made them better Access developers with example. We, members of the Microsoft Access MVP community, composed of those who have achieved the highest level of recognition one can achieve with the product. Here to sign below, hereby proclaim and extend this recognition to Bennett G. Cloutier for his lifetime work with Access and for making us and the world of Access better for it. This day, 18th of March in the year 2019. And these are all MVPs that were present both last year and this year. And it was a very emotional event. There's a video circulating on the web. I'm not going to share with you because I couldn't read through the whole thing. I broke down. And Tom, who organized this, an MVP, lives here in the United States. He finished reading it, but it was quite emotional, and I thought it was very deserving. The Microsoft Store, Microsoft Campus has a store in there, and you get a voucher and you get $200. It's not going to give us $200 worth of merchandise. What it says, you can purchase up to $200 and employee discount, 50% discount. So if you see a $400 Surface laptop, you can buy it with your $200 voucher. I purchased mouses, keyboards, mouses, and so forth. So I thought it was pretty neat. Susan's trying to sell me something. Start the video with me, please. What do you mean? I already start the video. Can you not see my screen, Susan?
I said share the one that you were just talking about.
Oh, no. I'm not going to share that with you. Oh my gosh. So embarrassing. All right. Let's see here. Let me see the comments. Okay. So I brought a keyboard. I bought this keyboard. This is normally $89 keyboard, and it's called a Surface keyboard because it's got that Surface grade to it. And I got this crap price. I also got this dial. This dial here that you can put on a Surface and move it up and down. And it's supposed to allow you to move the image up and down. I would have to show you in the document. Let me see here if I can bring up. Let me see. Oh, see, I can move it up and down with the dial. That's all I can do with this computer. But on the Surface, you can put it on the Surface laptop, and it will actually allow you to see it will actually do more things on there. But I decided I'd buy it. Let's see here if I can show you the next one. All right, I did. Oh boy. Oh, we have these water stations throughout the Microsoft campus. Like there's an orange, and this one has cucumbers and lemon, and this one was tea, and oh my gosh, it just tasted great. I love that. Oh, this is the Microsoft Access team with us MVPs. This is a better photo. So you got Mikhail Bar, Senior Product Manager, Armin Stein, Doug, Carl. Oh, this gentleman is maybe Carl can step in and tell me who this is. Peter. This is Peter.
Peter Doring.
Yes, Peter Doring. This is this is Joe. He's the newest member of the MVP family. This is Mark. He does a lot of health content. I want chugging down the beer. And this is, I believe, Tim. He is with the Access team there. So we had beers with them, had a great time sharing with them. Oh, this is something, you know, during the breakout for the entertainment, they would have these signs, like we were the office MVPs. And there was some very curious. This one, I like the fact they had that can't stop, won't stop project MVPs. Microsoft Access had one too, but I don't know where it was. Chocolate covered strawberries. Oh gosh, this is so tempting. I stay away from all this stuff because I'm no longer a baby. That's why I'm not eating this stuff anymore. More chocolate. Okay. Oh, nice cookies too. Like there was actual food too there, by the way. Oh, here's the food: vegetable sticks and hummus. Delicious. And then we had these platters over here. So I mean, they really treat us well. I mean, this was just the I believe the Tuesday. So Monday we had a reception. It wasn't that big of a deal. Then Tuesday we had this. And Wednesday we had the big event, and I didn't take any photos of that. Sorry about that. But one of the things that I liked was they have a museum there on the Microsoft campus, right across from the store. This is the Macintosh they had there with the first version of Office that came in floppy disk. I used to have these discs, by the way. Boy, would that bring a memory. And I thought that was pretty neat. And the original business cards, Paul Allen. I don't know if you can see that there. Let me see if I can. Paul Allen and Bill Gates there. Original Albuquerque, New Mexico. They started the company Albuquerque, New Mexico. I thought that was pretty neat. Are there any more photos? Yeah, there is. Okay. And oh, this is how young they were when they first started out. Oh my goodness. And then let's see here. Oh, one thing that I saw was pretty neat was they have some tree houses behind the building there that Microsoft built for the employees. So you can actually go up there, scan your employee pass, and they'll let you in. It'll let you in, and then there's a conference room inside the tree house. You can go meetings in. I thought that was absolutely wonderful. Just beautiful. I mean, the Microsoft Office campus is surrounded by woods. It was just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I would love to work there. You're immersed into the woods. It's a huge campus, right? There is no fence. There's no guard check. It's just integrated with the city around it. It's so big, it expands a highway. So one side of the highway is half the campus. The other side is the other half of the campus. And then they have multiple offices throughout Redmond, Washington. So that was pretty neat. All right, couple of things. I have a demo for you guys, and you may have started seeing this new feature that's already come out. And let me see, I'll just do it with this one. All right, so I'm gonna open several forms here, and I'll show you a new feature. Hi, my wife stepped in to say hi. All right, so if I'm on a fast track. Eventually, everybody should get this. So 2 new features. You'll notice that the tab here has an X, so now you can close that tab here. It used to be you had to come all the way over to the right here, close it. Now you can also move the tabs around any order you like, and it'll actually be pretty neat. So it doesn't. You can rearrange the tabs. Yes.
Sorry, Juan. I'm still seeing the pictures.
You're still seeing the picture. All right, let me stop sharing and reshare. That's what happens when sometimes you have to reshare. All right. Let me know if you see the Access.
Okay, now I see Access.
All right. So here you see the X that you can close these tabs with now. It used to be that you couldn't do that, and now you can rearrange the tabs. So when I come here, I can take this grab tab and drag it over. And now it's part over here, so I can drag it all the way over there. And now you can rearrange the tab. So that was pretty neat. A few things I want to call out for you guys. Number one, you see the smiley face here? anywhere in the product, you can say, I like something or I don't like something. So for example, I can hear like, I like something. It actually, you can include a screenshot, right? So if you get an error message in Access, you can use the smiley face if you can. Sometimes it's locked up and you can't do anything, but, and then you can say, you know, love the new X on the tabs and being able to move them around with ease. And you can include your email address. And now the Access team reads these. I don't want you to think that they're getting millions of these. They're not. They read each and every one of them. So I encourage you to provide feedback. They do read this. And then you hit the submit. I'm not going to hit submit because I already submitted this feedback once, but I want to show you that. So whether you like it, don't like it, hit the smiley. You'll see it everywhere in Access and throughout Office. And they will show it. They will read that feedback from you, right? So it's just a wonderful way to do that. You know, this is probably the best Access team. I've been an MVP now for 8 years, and this has been probably the best Access team ever that I've worked with for several reasons. Number one, they're focused on improving the Microsoft Access desktop. There was a team that only thought about web apps, and that's all they did. They completely ignored. So for several years, we got no new features for web apps. This team gets it, right? Number two, they're responsive. You see them now at conferences. You never see these guys outside Redmond. Now you see them at conferences. You can see them. You can walk up to them and talk to them. It's just a wonderful way to be able to do that. There's somebody in the, okay, you're admitting people in, right, Lucy? It looks Susan, right? I think it's like you are. Good. And so you get to see them at conferences now, and they're just wonderfully receptive. You're able to walk up to them and do it. They're going to be at the Vienna conference, which Carl is going to be this year, I believe. Carl, are you going to the Vienna conference this year?
Yes, Klaus is going.
Oh, Klaus is going. Yes, great. So they're going to be in Vienna, and they usually send somebody at the POG conference come September. By the way, the POG conference is going to be in September this year. So please be aware of the registration. It usually sells out quickly. It used to, registration will start January 1st, but now they pushed that back because the conference is several months later. Love that conference. We're in the woods. Just a wonderful way to you're spending a complete weekend with other Access MVPs, other Access users, and the Microsoft Access team. And you may even get some goodies like we did last year from the Access team. So I encourage you to participate in that if you can. Let me move this out of the way. So in summary, I just love working with this Access team. They get it. One thing I want you to, two things I want you to come away with from the Access MVP Summit. Number one, they're really pushing to go 64-bit. Right now, the default install in Office is 32-bit. And it's going to switch soon to 64-bit. So what does that mean for your organization? If your applications are not 64-bit compatible, you have to now forcefully change it to 32-bit when you go install it on your computer from Office 365. So keep that in mind. Number two, 64-bit, one of the biggest advantages it has is to be able to read a lot more memory. Right now, Office 32-bit is minimized to just 4 gigabytes of RAM. With 64-bit, it's virtually unlimited. And so if you're getting a lot of out-of-message memory areas in Access, you're not going to get those with Office 64. So at IT Impact, we are making that conscious transition to every time, every new project, we're starting 64-bit. And we have a lot of code that we share among projects, and we made it bit neutral. So our code has code in there to pick the right APIs calls based on whether it's 64, 64, 32. And Susan, who's on this call, senior Access developer at my firm, she has a lot of experience converting 32 to 64. So I think, Susan, I'd love to you to either next month, which is our last one before the summer break, or next fall, like you talk about how to make that transition from 32 to 64, the gotchas that you're going to have. So I think that would be a great topic.
if you don't use access versions before 2010, then you even don't need the if64, but you can just use the API 64-bit, I think.
Oh, thank you, Carlos. Thank you for letting us know. Somebody had a
Is
question.
that correct?
Susan, is that correct? Carlos, can you repeat your question?
I mean, if you just say you refuse to use access versions before 2010, just 2010 and onwards, you don't support other ones, then you don't need that that hash if else, because you can use the 64-bit generally, even in 32-bit. That's at least what I found out.
Susan, is that your experience? Are you not using the hash 64?
I'm using an if. Oh, what is it? No, I am using an if else statement for the 64-bit version.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The thing is, we just want to play it safe, right? Because we have clients at 2010. 2010 is the latest we support, or the longest we support.
But the reason I think the reason we're using that one as well is because we have some clients where some of the users are 64-bit and some of them are 32.
Oh, yes. That's the biggest thing, Claude. So you might be right. It might be the case, but because we have that mixed environment, a lot of the work we do are for 100 users sometimes. And you're invariably going to have some users on 32 and some on 64. And that's why we still use the hash 64. But I think you got a good point.
But I think you can safely ignore it, because I found out it because I use it on 32-bit as well, and it works because that pointer safe and long pointer, is it? I think pointer long, or what is it? Is in 64-bit and 32-bit. So there is no need for if 32-bit.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know. That's good to know.
Okay, I'm going to look into that one, because I know we're still using with 64 the long P pointer and just long for 32-bit.
Okay, good. So
so sorry, but of course you have to declare everything as pointer or long pointer, which is a pointer. If you do that in your code, throughout your code, then you don't have problems. Of course, if you use long instead of long pointer, then you have a problem.
Okay, that's good to know. So did you hear that, Susan?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so look, one of the things I readily admit, I wish I can show you more stuff. They did show us some other stuff that they're working on. I can't comment at this point because it's on the NDA. I really like what I saw. I'm hoping that we can comment there soon. One other thing, I had a chance to meet the team that does SQL Server Migration Assistant for Access, and one of the things I complained to them was, it's so hard to always find the correct version of the SSMA. Like if you put in a Google search, you'll get all kinds of results. And he told me a great technique, which is to use a AKA. So let me show that to you real quick. Let me just move this browser over. Do you see my browser over the PowerPoint? Okay.
Yes.
So if you do aka.ms/SSMA for access, let me just copy this. It'll always take you to the latest version of SSMA. So I thought that was pretty neat. I actually invited him to be a presenter to our group in the fall. So I got really good presenters lined up from the fall. So migration is 8.1 for access. Something else I didn't know that made my chest swell with pride is that The SQL Server Migration Assistant is used by not just Access. You can use it with Oracle, other technologies, but Access is the #1 use for SSMA, and I thought that was pretty neat. That people are migrating to Azure or to SQL Server more for this product than ever before. I ran into a little bit of issue converting views with SSMA, and I'm going to be providing them with some feedback on that. The other aspect of this, gosh, I forgot to say one more thing. I feel like, here we go. So let me just bring up my code window. They've done a ton of work. The people behind the help support on the support articles. It used to be when you go to support at Microsoft.com, you have articles for a lot of old articles, 2007, that would still apply for 2010 through 2019, but nobody went in there, has ever gone in there and updated it. Now they're doing a lot of work on that, and Microsoft Access is the #1 product with the best support and ratings online versus any other Office product. So I thought that was pretty neat. So one thing I want to show you is, let me see here. One thing I'm going to show you is, this is my code window. If I put my cursor on, for example, table defs and press F1, it'll actually take me to that property. I thought this was pretty neat. You know, this used to be native functionality with Access in 2007, and then they completely screwed up the help system and Access and Office in general. Now they fix it, we'll actually go to the web. So I thought that was pretty neat. Now, something you gotta know, you notice here it says docs.microsoft.com. I did not meet with this group. I met with another one that does support. Let me show you which one that group I'm talking about. So you see that docs here on the URL. Well, that's not the group I met with. And there's a reason I'm saying this. I'm gonna go and pull up migrate access. There is a support. Here we go. So I actually helped out with this article with support.office.com. Jeff, he's a manager responsible for the support.office.com. He's done a ton of work. He's coming up with some great content. We're going to have him. He already agreed to present in one of my fall meetings. So it's another Microsoft employee we're laying up for the fall. Got a great lineup of speakers for the fall. And I got a chance to talk to him about this, and I'm hoping that he can bring that topic here and give you some more great insight into the support articles on Office. So that's been completely revamped. So please take advantage of that and be able to click on the F1 and take you to the web. Have you guys used that? I used to stop doing it because I just gave up on it altogether. Now I'm starting to use it again. Let me know in the comments if you've been using that again.
Yeah, I'm using it.
Good. Yeah, because help just really sucked, and it's good that it's going to the web now. All right.
Sure. One point: if you start using SSMA and there's a newer version available, you can automatically install it now. Just press yes and say I will do the update, and then it comes. So I don't need to search.
Oh, good. That's good to know. Let me see. I'm gonna try that here. I got SSMA installed here. Let's see. Do I? No, I thought I did. Migration assistant. Let's see. Migration assistant. I use a virtual machine. I'm not going to bring up my virtual machine right now, but maybe Susan, you have it on yours. Launch SSMA, and then if you launch SSMA, where would you go, Klaus? To the help system, to the help menu, and check for an update.
I've just launched it. So, okay, yeah, and it's come up with a pop-up message, a new version is available. Do you want to download and install the update now? So let's say yes.
All right, let's see if it go updates 8.5.
Through.
I use it since 7 something.
Oh, good. All right, so one of the topics, before we get into this topic about commercialized access, I want to give you guys an update on the organization AccessUserGroups.org that I founded. We're up to 1,700 subscribers on YouTube, and I am so impressed with the fact that we got this many subscribers now. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. At any of the videos, you can click on the subscribe button, and then you can also click on the bell to be notified when there's a new video that comes out. We have 200 videos now since we started 2014. This video with Mikhail Barr, who was with me 4 months ago, has already 483 views. Just great dynamics with YouTube. This is the list of the top 8 videos on our YouTube channel. Two things I want to point out. Number one, our top one was 2 years ago, 15,000 views in Spanish from the Spain team, either Spain or Latin America team. I can't remember which one. The other thing you'll notice that a lot of these videos have to do with SQL Server. So 9,000 views here, 8,000 views, 7,000 views. Most of these are older. Somebody pointed out to me, why is it that we have 2 of them stored procedures? Well, what happens is we revisit topics as part of this Access with SQL Server group. And that's one of the things that you'll be noticing here is I start with Access with SQL Server Academy, parts 1, 2, and 3. So the very first sessions when we come back from break, summer break, with September, October, November, we're always going to do SQL Server Academy, part 1, 2, and 3. Just because I still see a lot of people coming into this space, they want to learn how to migrate to SQL Server, how to take advantage of it, and I decided that we just start with that every year. So you're going to see a lot of those videos online, and it includes the latest update. So I thought it was pretty neat. All right.
As I told you, I'm still missing the possibility to get some code.
From which one?
I mean, generally, from that you don't have any code to download. That's
Okay.
what I miss personally.
Okay, we need to work. We need to do this video. Have download links. So that's a good thing. Thank you for reminding me. I think we'll need to start doing that, Susan. Can you make a note and work with Alex and make sure there's any videos or demos that gets uploaded back to AccessUserGroup.org, and he puts a link in the description of the video. This is some users metrics. This is since January 1st to March 18th. We've had 118,000 minutes of video watch, up 21%. Over the same period last year, we've had 18,000 views of our video, up 25%. Subscribers, we've added 125 subscribers in that period, a little bit down versus last year. And the reason I think it's down is because we don't ask people to subscribe now. We're modifying every video. So at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, we ask you to subscribe. You can see the average viewership per day hovers around 900 minutes. Some weekends it'll be down, but I thought this was pretty interesting that we've had so many people looking to do this. All right. Okay. So that's why I got for you from the MVP Summit. Sorry, I don't have more for you. I know you're probably thinking some earth-shattering stuff, but Microsoft Access is considered a mature product, and so we have a finite amount of resources available at Redmond to add new features, and I know the Access team does what it can to improve things. And so what I wanted to do is move on to this topic. We started selling a product called Safety and Training Database, and we went through some challenges with that, and I wanted to share those challenges with you guys. One of them is, of course, Microsoft Access was not built to sell solutions. If you want to sell solutions, Microsoft will say, well, use .NET, right? And do it in C#, and there's a wide range of tools for that. Being a Microsoft Access shop, we love Access. We can make it sing and dance. So to us, it's normal to sell a product based on Microsoft Access. This is one of the several products we have. We have a report generator as well as Customer Center that people can purchase from us. But it was not built to sell, right? It's very easy to fragment because as Microsoft Access developers, it's so easy to modify the product and update it that we tend to, once we install something, our product to somebody, and they say, oh, can you change this? Can you change that? We comply with that a lot. So it's very easy to implement. And you still need access, either one time or the access license to be able to use a product. Versus with .NET, you don't necessarily need to. So those are some of the limitations with commercialization. One thing I like to emphasize is I'm selling the solution. I'm not selling access, right? So when I make the advertising and I create this website, safetytrainingdatabase.com, you'll notice that doesn't say built on Microsoft Access, doesn't say any of that. It's just a product. And so we built the website in order to, if you build it, they will come, right? That's the old adage from the movie, Kevin Costner movie. Well, in this case, they didn't come, right? We still seeing very little traction on our website. We have to complement this with videos and SEO in order to be able to sell more licenses of this product. We use great use of iconology. That'll be my next slide so you can see it. And one of the things that we love about our code base, because we use a code base that we use for all our our solutions, is we can configure it to use either an Access backend, a SQL Server backend, or SQL with SQL Azure backend, and the code automatically adjusts for that. So we have code that we develop over the years that automatically does it for us for this product and any of our products that we do, any of our projects that we do with our clients around the world. This is an example of the iconology, and I love these. It's using the Windows UI Metro Studio, right? It uses icons. These are all buttons that we have on the product. They don't look like buttons, which is what's great about that. They're live tiles, right? That tells you information on there. And so it's just a great way to distinguish yourself from other products in the market. Even though it's still Access, it doesn't behave or act like Access. And even the small buttons on the upper right-hand corner for the close, for example, and delete we use. And by the way, all these icons are available to you for Metro Studio. You can download these icons using on your own projects. I say that constantly during our meetings here. So I urge you to take advantage of that. One of the nice things about selling this product is the fact that we roll out updates, right? So let's say, for example, we sell 1,000 licenses of this, and we need to send out the patch. Well, we're not going to email the patch to 1,000 people. We're not going to call them, install it manually. Instead, what we do is we use SQL Azure to roll out a new front end to all these 1,000 desktops automatically. And so something that Ben Clothier, our solution architect here at IT Impact, has developed, and we use DLLs as well to interface. So what happens is every time the user launches the product, it checks for Azure to see if there's a new version. If there is, it notifies the user. It downloads a zip file, and then downloads a batch file, and then it launches the batch file. The batch file unzips the zip file. It also launches DLL to notify the user which step is going through in the upgrade process. The batch file will then unzip this front end, rename the old front end, and launch the new front end. And when it launches, it gives the user a message saying these are the what's new window with the new features of the product. So I thought that was, and we use it everywhere on all our clients. So not just our product, but we use this methodology everywhere. It's some really great code that allows us to roll out new features with ease. So we're starting to sell this. We sold very few licenses, so it's something that we're starting to get done. We're not expecting to get rich on this product, although I would love to turn into a product-focused company and not consulting company. With the consulting experience, because Access is so easy to program, because these projects last only a few weeks or months, they never last years. Sometimes we'll get a project that will last a year. That's the exception, not the rule. And so as a sales manager at IT Impact, director of sales here, it's my responsibility to always get new clients, new projects. We're constantly looking for and advertising new products, for new clients, so I can keep my developers like Susan, who's on this call, busy, and being able to keep the lights on. Right, it's a constant challenge for us here, and so far we've been doing really good. I'm really happy with our track record year over year. We're not growing significantly. It's not. So there's a couple things, right? One of the things that people might say is, well, why focus with Access? Why not just do .NET? Well, I like the fact that there's not that many sharks in these waters. I know who my competitors are. I can count them with two hands, with my two fingers on my two hands, as opposed to if I were selling .NET solutions, I'm competing with India. I'm competing with local firms here in the U.S. I'm competing with firms in Latin America. Now, granted, there is a lot of work in that space, but the rate there's a lot of pressure on rates in that space. Plus, because you got big programmers in India willing to charge you $15 an hour. Not the ideal, but that's what they do. And versus when I'm in the Microsoft Access consulting space, I don't see that many sharks. In fact, usually I never compete with somebody. Most of my competition in Access are people who have their own practice, their one-person businesses, and there's nothing wrong with that. I used to be there as well before I started hiring people in my practice. That's how we all got started. You ask any successful consulting firm that does Access, they'll tell you they all started with just one person, right? It's just that we decided to move on and hire people. And some people are just happy doing this stuff. I was talking to a consultant last week, and she tells me she's as happy as can be working for herself. Doesn't want to have any employees. She has her group of steady clients, and that's all she does. So God bless her. I was talking to her about that. All right, that's it for me. Short and sweet. I'd like to open up for any questions you may have regarding what we talked about today. Hey, Susan, what do you update to? 8.5? Susan?
I'm here.
Did it upgrade you to 8.5?
It did upgrade. It did upgrade, yes.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Claus, for that. All right. So next month, we might have Susan come back and talk about migrating from 32 to 64-bit, and then we've got some great speakers lined up in the fall, September. Unless I don't hear any questions, I'd like to thank you, everyone, for coming here. By the way, episode 2 of my podcast is out. Please give me feedback on that. I'm a little concerned because I think the second episode was a little bit not as exciting as I was in the first episode. Power BI, yeah, we have our website is discoverthepowerofyourdata.com. That's actually a trademark. I trademarked it. That's our Power BI. What we noticed with our Power BI practice is brought in Microsoft Access work. So every time we advertise on Power BI, invariably those clients migrate to Access. So I thought that was pretty neat. Thanks, Richard, for the question. Anybody else have a question? You want to talk about it or leave a comment before we finish?
What about Power Apps?
Oh, Power Apps. Okay. I received some major news on Power Apps, which I cannot share with you guys. How do I phrase this? Keep watching out for Power Apps, what I can say. One of the major caveats of Power Apps is you can't program it. And Klaus has a technique on his blog and how to bypass that by invoking a store procedure. So if you're interested in that, Klaus, maybe you can leave a link in the comments here for anybody who is interested in reading that blog post that you sent me. But Power Apps is a major Microsoft push, and it's getting better and better, especially with the CDS, which is the Common Data Service, I believe. And Flow, Flow is just an amazing product. I hear every day, I hear more and more things about Microsoft Flow. Susan has a project that she's been working on this week where Dynamics, we have a client that uses Dynamics 365 for sales. And one of the problems with Dynamics is when you have a lead that you turn into opportunity, the notes don't follow the opportunity, which I don't ask me why Microsoft decided to do it. And so Susan's composing a flow that will watch for a trigger in Dynamics 365 for a new opportunity. If the opportunity is matched to a lead, it copies over all the nodes. And so that's using flow, it's using connectors, and it's using Dynamics 365. We have another client that's also want our help with the Office 365 with Dynamics 365 for sales that has a SQL Server database with an Access front end, and they want to upload data automatically through the Dynamics 365 portal. And so we're going to be using Flow with that as well, to check for new records in the local SQL Server database at the client level, and then migrating those records over to Dynamics 365. It'll be a very interesting project we're working on. You know, it's just on and on it goes. You know, they release on average 2 new services a day in Azure, so it's hard to catch up. Last year they released over 600 services, and they don't release more because they get complaints from customers saying, please don't release two more because we have to research these, check out. It's just they had to put on the brakes, but they have a ton of programmers at Microsoft working on Flow, Microsoft Power Apps. I had a chance to see a presentation from the Power Apps manager that I thought was fascinating, which I can't share with you, but very interesting stuff. There's some things I saw that the Access team is working on that may not see the light of day. That's one of the reasons why they don't want us talking about it, because they say, okay, we did this, it's an experiment, we want to show you guys, it doesn't leave this room, right? And I saw something that was really nice, and I'm hoping it does make it to the light of day. And it shows me that they're committed to the product and they're committed to improving it. So thank you very much, Klaus, for that question. Anybody else have a question before we go? All right. Well, this has been Access with SQL Server. I'm your host, Juan Soto, for Live from Chicago. Susan Pine has been our online moderator. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. How many people do we have today?
What?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, good question.
All right, 15. All right. Thanks, Susan.
Yeah.
Talk to you tomorrow at work at the water
Yeah.
cooler. I'm bringing bagels.
Good.
Bagel Wednesday.
Oh, good. Can I have mine with cream cheese and smoked salmon, please?
Oh, absolutely. Talk to you guys next month. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.